Cage Warriors is back in Manchester this weekend. We've got a card on the Friday and the Saturday. Last week's Cage Warriors, some good fights on the. A lot of the fights fell through though at the weigh-ins, so we lost some of our bets. The ones what we were left with did win, but I didn't end up putting the bet on, to be honest, because the odds were just the return wasn't great. I think it was like just a 2-1 or something like that. We did have one underdog who won, which was Kadeem Perkins, and he looked good. That was a brutal knee knockout what he got. So yeah, decent card, but it's a shame some of the fights fell through. This weekend we've got Friday and Saturday. I don't know why they're doing the Saturday card when the UFC is on early in the UK. So they're going to be on at the same time. It's just stupid, isn't it, really, considering there's no UFC next weekend. They could have just moved it round and put it on then. But yeah, anyway, this is what we're left with. We're going to break down some of the fights what I'm interested in, and we'll have a look at the Betslip at the end. We're just going to do the Friday card in this video, and then I'll be doing another video for the Saturday card as well, which is probably a bit of a better card, to be honest. But having had a quick look at the odds here, this might be the better card for betting on. So yeah, we'll scroll down and we'll have a look at the first fight. So the first fight is Jordan Molinari versus Reggie Hingston. Now, Reggie Hingston, he did not look good in his last fight against Gary Priestley. Gary Priestley, in my opinion, isn't like a high level fighter, and he made hard work of that and ended up getting a draw. He should have been putting him away, really. Lost before that against Ryan Hewitt. Ryan Hewitt, he's got a bit of a mixed record, but he's not too bad. I think he's fighting either on this card or the Saturday card, and I think he's going to end up winning. I mean, he's got a few wins before that, but I don't think he's very good, Reggie Hingston. Jordan Molinari is training at Next Gen. He's alright, but this fight didn't fill me with confidence when he lost a split decision to this Kevin Caperna, who's like 5 foot. I know I'm only short, but man, he should have been beating that guy, really. He had the reach advantage probably for once in his career, only being 5'4" himself, and yeah, he should have got the win there. So that split decision loss doesn't fill me with confidence in him, but I still think he should be good enough to beat Reggie Hingston here, because from what I've seen of him, I'm just not impressed, to be honest. Yeah, so that's a quick breakdown of the first fight. Next fight, Ima Darcy versus Katerina Richkova. I'm not going to bet on it just because I think it'd be like an evenly matched fight. I had a quick look before. She had an alright amateur record, this Katrina. She's fought at the Iron Maths and stuff, so she's tested herself against decent level competition. This Ima Darcy, she looks alright, 3-1. But I just feel like you're just best off watching it, to be honest. There's no point betting on it. I don't really have an opinion on it. I think Ima Darcy is the favourite. She should probably win, but I'm not confident in picking it because you just don't know yet. It's better off watching it. Next fight, you've got Mark Philippe Ngacho versus Yusuf Nazakatov. Oh, I'm bad at pronouncing these names on here, ain't I? But Yusuf, we've backed him before. He's been around a long time. Decent fighter, training at Next Gen now full time. And he's coming up against Mark Philippe. 1-on-1, not seen anything of him. So I couldn't tell you if he's good or if he's not. I'm not bothered watching the tape on him because I'm not going to bet on this fight. Yusuf is a big underdog. Too big an underdog if you ask me. Like, this guy's 1-on-1. Yusuf's 2-2, but he's been around a long time. He's got decent stand-up, alright grappling. I think it'll be a tough test for these level fighters. So yeah, at the odds what he's at, I just think yeah, he's being underestimated too much. I probably won't bet on him because I don't know enough about this other guy, but if you wanted to put on an underdog, I feel like this is probably a more evenly matched fight than the odds suggest. I can't remember what odds they are, but we'll have a look at the end. Next fight, Mitchell Good versus Jordan O'Neill. Mitchell Good, he looked alright in his last fight against Ty Palmer. Got the choke there, but I think if I remember rightly, his stand-up looked alright in that fight as well. Like, better than I thought it was going to be. He's a bit of a submission specialist, Mitchell Good. I remember in this fight against Angus Hewitt, he was getting beaten until he pulled off that buggy choke. I can't remember if it was in round 2 or round 3, but yeah, he was getting dominated to be fair, and then he managed to pull out the buggy choke in the end. He did look more composed in his last fight than what he's looked before in his previous 2 Cage Warriors fights. So it does seem like he's getting better and he's adapting to the pro ranks. But he's got a tough test here in Jordan O'Neill, fighting at a Fight Academy Ireland. They're on form at the minute. They've got a lot of great fighters. Probably the best gym in Ireland at the minute, really, isn't it? Well, in Northern Ireland, but yeah, good gym, doing good things. A lot of big fighters though. He's 3-0. He's had a good amateur record as well. So you think he should get the win here. I think he's a massive favourite as well, so I'm not sure we'll be putting it on, but I do think Jordan O'Neill will probably get the win here. But Mitchell Good is looking like he's getting better, and he's always tricky with the submissions. So, yeah. Next fight, Jake McHugh versus Saeed Hussein Musavi. Now, this Musavi, I'll be surprised if this fight even goes ahead, to be honest, because I think he's had about 5 cancellations in his last, 4 cancellations in his last 4 fights, and I think some of them have been on the day of weigh-ins and stuff. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he even makes the fight. I think if he does make the fight, Jake McHugh's gonna get the win anyway. Musavi looks a bit of a grappler. I think he's like a bit of a wrestler, but Jake McHugh's grappling is his strength too, and he's looking good, especially in his last fight against Conor Patterson. I think Conor Patterson's a better fighter than this Musavi, so I can't see Jake McHugh losing this fight, to be honest, if it goes ahead. Yeah, so next fight, we've got Pedro Henrique Diaz versus Manuel Deval. Another random Brazilian, 3-2. He's only beaten like guys who've never even had a fight before. And yeah, lost against guys who've got mixed records. I feel like Manuel Deval should walk through him, to be honest. But I won't be betting on it because I think he's a massive favourite. So yeah, that's my pick for that fight. He looks alright, that Deval. So next fight, we've got Damiano Skogner versus Richard Carlos. Damiano Skogner lost his last fight, split decision to Olisaba, and look how good Olisaba looked last week. He looked great. So no shame in that loss. He's coming up against Richard Carlos, who's coming off 2 upset wins. Upsets to me anyway. Like, I thought Sam Kelly was going to beat him in the last fight, and that Tommy Bruning before that, but I don't think that Tommy Bruning's turned out to be too good, has he? And then the loss before that against James Williams, who was a decent flyweight. Yeah, and a couple of wins before that. I feel like Damiano Skogner should get the win here, but he's a massive favourite. And Richard Carlos, he does have a knack for causing the upset, so I'll probably just leave that fight off because he's got sneaky arm bars and stuff, so he could definitely catch Skogner, but I can't see it, to be honest, this time. But I'll just leave it off because the odds ain't great. Next fight, Alton Almindo versus Giuseppe Mastrogiacomo. I did alright pronouncing that one. Elton Almindo was supposed to fight last week for the bantamweight belt against Shazad Khodiran. I think they both missed weight and the fight ended up falling through, which was a shame because I was looking forward to that, and we had Almindo winning. Decent striker, and he's looked good in his last few fights. Fought some good level competition as well. Coming up against Giuseppe. Giuseppe bouncing back after that loss to Aiden Lee, which we picked Aiden Lee. Aiden Lee was a big underdog in that fight, and we picked him to win. And he bounced back with a KO win in his last fight. But I'd still say I don't think he's as good as what they're making him out to be. Like, they were trying to build him up to be the next big thing out of Italy, and yeah, I don't think he's going to be that. I think he's alright, but Armindo's good as well. I would have picked Armindo in this fight without hesitation. The only thing is, obviously, he's stepping up in weight to featherweight. I think Giuseppe's got like an inch reach advantage on him, but you just don't know. I feel like Giuseppe's going to be a lot bigger than Armindo, but then Armando could have the speed advantage as well. It's going to be an interesting fight, this one. If they were the same way, I'd probably go Armindo, but with him stepping up, I'm not sure. I think he is. I think he's even a slight favourite, in this fight when I had a look earlier. But yeah, not a big favourite. But I think it's going to be a good fight. I do slightly lean towards Armindo because I like what I've seen of him better than what I've seen of Mastrocomo. So yeah, I would lean to Armindo. But I'm not sure we're going to put it on. I think just because of the step up in weight, it'll be interesting to see how he does the next fight. Nel Ariano versus Rico Erolin. Nel Ariano, he's looked good in his Cage Warriors fights as well, hasn't he? I think his last fight was against Charles Joyner. Once he got his judo going in that fight and started getting the takedowns, he just dominated Charles Joyner, if I remember rightly. And he looked really good and ended up getting the finish, I think, later on in the fight. Before that, he thought that Danny Hartwell looked good in that fight. I think it was elbows when he was getting held up against the cage. And yeah, he's looked good now, Ariano. Had a decent amateur career as well. I think he's fought on the Iron Maths and stuff before. And he's coming up against Riku, who's coming out of Finland. Looks like he's had a lot of fights on the regional scene in Finland. I'm not sure of the level of these guys who he's been fighting, but I know Nelly Ariano he's a good fighter. The massive favourite again though, so I'll probably just leave it off. But yeah, I think Nelly Ariano should get that one done. Interesting to watch. I like watching him for a big guy. He's got nice takedowns, good judo. It's something a little bit different. Good, yeah, it's good to watch. Next fight, we got Giacomo Michelis versus Michael Dubois. Michelis 8-1. Last fight against Sadhu Kar, split decision. I don't remember watching that fight. It was probably on one of them Rome cards, and they're just not as good as this, to be honest. So I don't really pay attention to him as much. Good win before that though against Ole Santalati, who's been around a long time, fought a lot of good fighters on the European scene, and beat Mushazlani before that. I think I remember some of these fights. So yeah, he's beaten some decent guys. This Michael Dubois, he's 16-11. Lost a split decision to an 8-13 guy recently. I think he's got like a lot of losses to like guys with mixed records, So Giacomo Michelis, he should get this one done if you're looking at it on paper. But I'll probably just leave it off because he's going to be a massive favourite, and I haven't watched much of this other guy either, so probably best off watching that one. Next fight, Damon Wilson versus Aidan Lee. Damon Wilson is coming off a loss on the Contender Series where he got finished. And then he's got a lot of wins over mixed record guys, what he's been fed as well, because he's one of these Fight Academy products. I feel like that was the shittest thing Cage Warriors ever did, doing that Fight Academy thing. Think of how much money they've invested in that. It could have been put to way better use. Yeah, it could have been put to a lot better use in other areas. I don't know what Cage Warriors are doing at the minute, man. Like, they should be looking for big sponsorships, start paying the fighters more so you can get back on these 50-50 fights again. Because, like, I know they've just done a thing, Cage Warriors haven't done a thing with JD, have they? But JD have been working with a lot of MMA fighters. I see the Paddy Pimlet adverts and stuff like that. Like, Cage Warriors should be getting sponsorships off JD. Like, it even ties in with the branding and stuff like that as well. Yeah, and I don't know, just going on a rant here, but I feel like they should try to get a TV deal as well rather than being on Cage Warriors. Surely there's more money in getting like a TV deal with like a UK, like ITV or something like that. I don't know. Surely there's more money in it and like sponsorship and stuff. The amount of like money these TV channels spend on fucking shitty game shows and all that. Surely there's money there for put Cage Warriors on. But anyway, enough of that rant. Damon Wilson is going up against Aidan Lee. Aidan Lee, mixed record, 13-10, but I like him. I think he's a decent fighter, underrated. Split decision loss to Alexander Aloof in that last fight, and I feel like I might be a bit biased because I bet on Aidan Lee in that fight, but I feel like he should have got the nod though. I feel like he landed the better shots. It was a close fight though, don't get me wrong. Could have gone either way, but I do feel like Aidan Lee should have got that 2-1. 2 rounds to 1. But it was a good fight. Alexander Luce, he's a good fighter. Before that, he beat Giuseppe Mastriacomo, like we were saying before. And then I lost to Daniel Conrad before that, who was like massive for the weight. And I think that was a weight up as well. And yeah, Aiden Lee, he's good, man. And he's been in there with like some top fighters when he's fight for Bellator and stuff like that. He's been in there with way better fighters than Damon Wilson. And I'm hoping he gets the win here against Damon Wilson. Yeah, I'm not too keen on him. I'm glad Cage Warriors haven't been doing those San Diego shows as well, because I might just be biased because I'm a UK fan, but it's just a waste of time, man. Just they didn't get back to the roots, Cage Warriors. Yeah. But yeah, Aiden Lee hopefully gets the win in this one. I think he's an underdog again as well, so we'll take that definitely. Maybe like rear naked choke or something. I won't be putting that on because I don't think you can, but I feel like that's how he might win. Sub. Next fight. Don't know why they put this as the main event as well. Another one of these Fight Academy guys, Anthony Orozco. Fucking boring fighter, mate. Shite fights, and like they keep putting him on these unplugged ones as the main event. I don't know why they're doing it. They should have left it as Aiden Lee. But yeah, obviously they're feeding him some Brazilian guy who he should just smash. What you doing? Yeah, boring. Right, next fight. No, there is no next fight. That's the main event in it. So we'll have a quick look at the odds now and see what bet we're looking to put on. Like I said, I think there's some more odds on some of the fights here for the Friday card. So we'll look now. So Jordan Molinari versus Reggie Hingston. We'll put it on. Not super confident in it, but hopefully Molinari should get it done. Training at a good gym, and yeah, it should be better than Reggie Hingston, who just drew with Gary Priestley in his last fight. The women's fight, we're not going to put that on. It's closer on the odds. That's what I mean. I'm not sure on that one, but we'll watch it. Next fight, Yusuf Naz versus Mark Philippe. Big favourite, Mark Philippe, and like I was saying, I don't think Naz should be a 2-1 underdog, so you could have a little punt on the underdog there if you wanted to, but we'll leave it off just to play it safe. Mitchell Good versus Jordan O'Neill. We'll go Jordan O'Neill, excuse me, to get the win. Next fight, Jake McHugh versus Saeed Hussein Musavi. He's a 1-3 almost, Jake McHugh. We'll still put it on though. I'll be surprised, like I say, if this fight even goes ahead. But if it does, I think Jake McHugh gets the win easily, to be honest. Next fight, Manuel Del Valle versus Pedro Enrique Diaz. He's a big favourite, Del Valle, but I think you just put it on anyway because you should just smash that Pedro guy, to be honest. We'll have a look at the end if it boosts the odds enough. If it doesn't, we'll just take it off, but we'll leave it on for now. Next fight, Damiano Skogner versus Richard Carlos. Yeah, Skogner would put on, but he's 1-8. Like I was saying before though, Richard Carlos, he pulls off these sneaky submissions and stuff. I don't see him getting it in this fight, but you never know. That's why we're not even entertaining it at those odds. But you could have like a single on Carlos just in case he manages to pull it off again. Next fight, Elton Armindo versus Giuseppe Mastriacomo. See what I'm saying? Elton Armindo is a slight favourite, and I would lean towards him. But the step up in weight makes it a little more uncertain, like whether I want to put that bet on. So we'll leave it off for now. Nel Ariano, massive favourite. We'd lean him, but I'm not putting it on at those odds. Next fight, Giacomo Michaelis versus Michael Dubois. Too big a favourite. Orozco versus that Brazilian. Too big a favourite. What's the point of even putting a fight on if it's going to be a 1-14 favourite? Like, see what I mean? It's just stupid. And then Damon Wilson versus Aiden Lee. We're going to go Aiden Lee on that one. So that's a 5-fold, and a tenner on that will get you back like 68 quid. Won't even let me put it on. Oh, 78 quid, yeah. Sometimes, obviously, sometimes it's It's a little bit different. That's why I was unsure. Yeah, so 78 quid back. If you wanted to put on Armindo on that, you're gonna get 130 back if you put a tenner on. So yeah. Maybe I'll take a punt with Armindo because I do feel like he's got the higher ceiling and I can see him pushing on to go on to like Contender Series next year and getting into the UFC and doing good things in the bantamweight division. I feel like he's just going to be a bit of better prospect for the future. Maybe I'll take the risk, maybe I won't, but there you go anyway. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, keep your eyes out because I'll be putting the Saturday card on next as well, probably today or maybe tomorrow if I've not got time. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck on the weekend and I'll see you next time.